someone asked me, you know, you make a sound, it sounds good by itself, which does happen often. And then, like, what do you add to it? So, there's like two solutions and one kind of a problem. Usually when you sound design something like entirely by itself, you don't understand the sense of presence because it's the first sound, right? So what's smart is when you usually don't do the sound design first per se, like all the time. Sometimes it's nice to just start with like the melodies or chords and then don't worry about the sound design. A lot of the time when I do chords, my serum patch, I open up a serum, I basically put on 2 unison, tight, and then like some hyper. And then I'm working with this. Something like that, right? Very simple, but still a little better than the first preset. But I do something like that, maybe put a little bit of reverb on it, and then I go on, make the sounds, whereas, like, you know, you just start with, like, some sort of, you make some sort of synth sound, you have, like, a chord progression, and you're like, okay, what do I do with it? So that's the issue, you know, is making things ahead of time, the sound design ahead of time before you start working on those sorts of details in your head. So then you either have to like do mixing or make changes, because essentially it comes down to like, you have a sound and it's doing something. Is it enough? And it's like, okay, no, you can try adding things to it, but if they're not contributing anything, then you shouldn't have it, because there's no point. So it should only be things that are like contributing to your song, basically, because if you don't have anything contributing, what's the point? Like, you're not actually making art, you're just throwing down random tracks, right? So let's say we make some, let's go back to that chord thing we just did. Come on, like this. Reverb. Alright, so let's make some chords real quick, and I'll just jump to when I have them done. So here I have a sound now done. Sorry, I should say chord progression. Now I'm going to go ahead and add drums. There we go. Drum loop done. Or like drums are done. So as we can hear that these actually do contribute to the sound itself. So I'm gonna want to keep them in. Let's just high pass these real quick. Cool. Alright, now I have my chords. Let's make a bass for them. I'm gonna keep this like simple. Let's see here. So now we have a bass and chords. And here, like, you know, I added a bass just to the root tones, and it's helping. So our song's actually going places. We're not working backwards, which is important here. And then maybe I'll do some more chords, like so. And these chords are going to be like this. Now I'm going to do a lead. I'm just going to make one. I have one. It's kind of... Alright, now I'm going to use this to basically work with my sounds here. And it's going ahead, putting down notes for me. How kind. And we can hear how these are all complementing each other now. But I essentially made the lead to go with the chords. It went quite well. What else could I do, maybe? I could try adding an ARP. Let's try that quick. Okay, maybe I'll do something like this, and just go with it. As you can hear, this ARP is buried. So this is an example of something that doesn't contribute, so maybe just this alone sounds better. Maybe all it actually really needs is like some impact with something like that. But essentially, all of these elements together work together. The drums being one of the most important parts. Especially that, like, rhythm is very important as well. If you have a bunch of different elements and they're out of sync in, like, terms of rhythm, they're not going to work. So you want them to be, like, in rhythm with each other. And that's what I got. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something about making things fit together. If it's not complementing your song, you don't need it. So move on to something else. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.